He has played Prince Charming in Cinderella in high school, and now he's all of Poland's Prince Charming. Cześć Ochman.
Test, hi.
So you had your second rehearsal today. How do you think it went?
I think it went well. Feeling pretty optimistic about it. I said it before, but there are still some tweaks, here and there to be done, technical wise, and from my own standpoint. But in general, I think it's going well.
Tell us a bit about the message you're saying in your song River.
To put it more cliche, there's a lot of things going on in our heads, say stresses and anxieties, and I feel like a lot of that comes from the fact, around my age, but not only my age, a lot of people tend to plan tirelessly, their futures, and because it's uncertain, and we're more afraid of what we don't know rather than what we know. So we plan out these futures that are uncertain, and that brings us a lot of discomfort. So the song's about just getting to this moment of inner peace, calmness, to kind of, get away from all that noise for just at least a moment.
And we have seen the video with the staging today. It's a very powerful staging. It has a lot, the shaking camera and a lot of effects. What are the thoughts about the staging?
Well, we wanted to, in some sort of way, tell a story, not a really concrete story from A to B, but a more generalized story. The dancers are they're absolutely amazing, and they represent more as I'm more telling a story of the thought process behind all of it. Getting to that moment of inner peace, and they're like a physical representation of those stresses and those bad thoughts that kind of argue with each other, and they like to argue with each other when we want to get to that moment of calmness. So there's a moment at the end where one of the dancers, well, two of them, hit me lightly on the shoulder. And that's usually what happens when you actually want to just calm down for at least a moment from all of that noise. So yeah, it's a bit discombobulated on stage, the way they dance. It's pretty it's not a specific type of dance. So yeah.
And you're one of the strong vocalists this year, as we have seen. Your dad is a rock singer. Your granddad is one of Poland's most famous opera singers. What have you taken from your family background to where you are now?
Well, my dad introduced me to rock. He opened my world to rock. That's kind of mainly what I started from, aside from jazz and musicals. So I really started off from bands like Green Day, My Chemical Romance, Breaking Benjamin, The Offspring, System of a Down. So a bunch of them. I was in love with that for a while, and I mean I still am. I feel like a lot of people had their emo phase, and they listened to that. So that and opera was always really around in my life. My grandpa was always around, so he would come visit us in the States, and he'd have concerts. We'd go to operas and go to concerts, symphony orchestras, and yeah, I fell in love with that, and then I went with my own thing, and I started listening to other genres. I think every genre has something to offer. There are good and bad songs in every style of music, but I love how traditional the tradition in opera and classical music. For me, it's incredibly beautiful, and I feel like for some people it might be a little hard to understand, like it was for me in the beginning. And now I really appreciate it once I got to know it more and be a part of that world.
We're in Italy, the land of opera. What would you like to, be on stage and do opera in this country?
It would be, it would be nice. But the thing about opera is, if you don't only, if your whole focus isn't on the operatic technique, and you don't only sing opera, then you kind of get away from that. just physically, as opposed, when I'm talking about the technique. And so it's important to really focus on that. Right now, I have I'm able to balance out both worlds. But in general, I always kept classical music close to my heart. I've sang a lot of Italian songs and arias, so for me, it's absolutely amazing that I can do both for now. But I feel like in the short run, I have to pick and choose already, because then it just it might be too late.
We met in Amsterdam, and you said to me that the things you were looking forward to when we were coming here to Turin was good coffee and a football match with Juventus. Have you had time to do anything here in Turin?
Not really. For the first few days, it was raining and pretty cold. So and there was a lot of things to be done. I know it's going to be even more intense, in the coming week. But I'm open to it. I'm young. I got a lot of energy, and I'm ready for that. I'm definitely going to have an opportunity to visit some other places, and that's what I'm hoping for. I love to travel. I love to travel.
Who have you befriended here in Eurovision?
Well, I've befriended Sheldon. Sheldon's a great guy. I love how focused he is on his work. He's really into what he's doing, so I really respect that about him. His whole dynamic, the work he does. And I made friends with Ronella. I made friends with Brooke. Really close to We Are Dom. Casper, Ben, and Dominika. So they're all absolutely amazing. Everybody's super eccentric and happy here, excited. So yeah, only good vibes with all of them, right?
And speaking of Eurovision, you had Michal Szpak as your mentor in The Voice, and also Edyta Górniak, who is a Polish Eurovision legend, was also a judge in The Voice. Are you hoping to emulate their success, or maybe take it a step higher than Edyta did in 1994?
I'm kind of just trying to do it my own way. I mean, I'd say every year is different. In Eurovision, every song of every country is different every year. So every country has something to offer. It just changes. It differs from year to year. So yeah, I wouldn't want to repeat anything that they've done, or really kind of go up to this whole process thinking that I'd want to be a level higher, because they did an absolute fantastic job when they were taking part in Eurovision. So I just want to kind of focus on myself, and hopefully people will like what I have to offer.
There are 40 songs in this year's Eurovision. If you couldn't choose your own, which other or others do you have as favorites?
I'd if I couldn't do River, then I'd probably do Not the Same, Sheldon Riley, or maybe Kalusha's song, Stefania. It would be pretty hard for me to do both songs. Both songs have a different style, and also a different style of performing and singing. But I'd definitely be open to that. But yeah, probably if I couldn't do River, I'd do one of the two. Well, I wanted to say hi to all of you guys, first and foremost. I hope you guys are healthy and feeling good. I wish you guys everything that's beautiful in this life. and I hope to make you guys proud at Eurovision. I hope you guys like what I have to offer, and yeah, much love.
River is this year's Polish entry for Eurovision, and we will see you in semi-final 2 on Thursday. Ochman, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.